That's the real fuck up. I don't operate heavy machinery, I don't build airplanes, I only spend other people's money. That's okay. But when you treat people badly, you're not allowed to do that. So, Division and Far Cry are cool games, but I started my career doing children's games and e-learning. I'm especially proud of Kalas med Rut och Knut, and not to mention här kommer brandbilen. Here's the fire truck. Great games. I did those back in the so-called CD-ROM era, before CD burners and PlayStation happened. And this was my initial starting fuck up. So we also did e-learning on the side. We got a big client called Länsstyrelsen i Stockholms län. It's like Region Skåne but more posh. We did a project for them, and we had a rather large release window, and I thought I'd choose the last day of the release window because that was opportune for us, and started to send them builds and versions of the game, and we quickly ended up in the conclusion that they were shit, and they were right. So we ended up in meetings where they wanted to fire me, and we sat with the managing director and everything. So lesson learned. If you're going to show your product to the client, don't lie about it. If it's shit, they will find out. So speaking of shit, this is the worst game I've ever done. None of you have played it because it totally tanked. It was in the latter half of the so-called CD-ROM era. No faults with Lisa Marklund. She looks great on that picture. It was my problem. We felt that the industry was dying, but we still were trying to churn out a couple of more games. So we did the total without passion, conviction, or anything. And what happens when entertainment when you don't believe in it? It turns bad. So this is a very, very bad game. Sorry, Lisa. With that, I actually left that studio, and later it died. So betting, that's in, right? I mean, when you're in betting, you can just cash in and find the money. So me and a couple of friends started a betting company. We were supposed to do, you know, when you at Euro or World Cup do a small office pool, and you bet on the matches locally. So we're going to take that, but to Premiership, Champions League, and other things. So we were 4 people. Here's the major startup of that problem. We were 3 product managers and 1 coder. So we were 3 people running around with ideas and doing PowerPoints and things. And this poor dude, Micke, tried to code the web page. And I mean, we didn't even get it off the ground. We never even got to the login page because we just disturbed him all of the time. We created nothing in value at all. But hey, a lot of documents. So the company went totally bust, of course, after a couple of years. Micke is now recovered. He has a nice job and everything. And so lesson learned. If you're going to do a startup, everybody has to do something. If you can't code, learn how to code. If you can't learn how to code, learn how to do art, but do something. To have just product managers, we're useless when you're a small team. We're needed later, so screw that. Okay, so next up, big computer games. On a major computer game nowadays, you're somewhere between 300 and 1,000 people at the end of peak production. So then you try to organize processes. This is an old process we used to work by. It's trying to clarify at what point you do what, and etc., etc. This is great as a process, but it actually doesn't help drive content. It's very easy that you, when you do entertainment, follow the process neatly, but you often kind of get up with something that doesn't work at all. So believing too much in the process can lead to a game that looks like this. This was not a fun experience. This is a screenshot on the middle of development of the Division, but everybody's following the process how to rebuild New York. Then you get a very, very flat, snowy landscape with nothing to do. So this was a very, very poor playing game. So when you believe too much in that and don't release people with their creativity and let them do what they should do, even though they do what they are told to do because the process says so, you don't create much of a fun. And yet again, what is entertainment without fun? So. Also kind of a consumer expectations, right? So, but when you release people and you start let them to do stuff that is within the process and let them have fun and own what they do, then you get games that look like this, that have multiple things and multiple actions in it. And that's also one key. When you do so big projects like we do, try to control every part of it, direct every minute detail. That's impossible. You just need to create the canvas and then let people go. Especially if you're going to let between 500 and 1,000 people go. You can't decide what they do. And also then you don't see it in the screenshot, but there's a graffiti, there's a lot of things going on. People create fun stuff. Then you even get stuff like this. We couldn't put it in the game due to legal reasons, because it's from a movie. Those you understand. Otherwise, ask your neighbor. It's Escape from New York. So when you let people unleash their creativity, they can make a memorable scene with 2 chandeliers and a car. So that's kind of cool. A lot more fun. With that said, I think though the biggest fuck up that I've ever done, and what I never ever will do again, is that when you accept jargon, vernacular, or when you accept banter, and it leads to people feeling left out, feeling not part of the team, or not having ability to be whoever they are. So I'm on occasions in my career accepted banter. I once not intervened in a conflict that turned into harassment. That's the real fuck up. I don't operate heavy machinery. I don't build airplanes. I only spend other people's money. That's okay. But when you treat people badly, you're not allowed to do that. No one should ever have to not be who they are due to ethnicity, gender, sexuality, anything. That's the biggest fuck up we can do. Thank you.